So finally, after 5 months of nothing since the gameplay reveal for Arc Raiders, we have something to talk about. Today in the Discord, they release the information for the upcoming tech test, the second one, April 30th through May 4th, a 5-day tech test, and I'm real excited for it. It's going to be real good. So if you're in the Discord, you might have already read what I'm going to talk about today in the video, but we're just going to go through the link they provided in the Google Docs right there in the Discord. And we're going to talk about what's different, what's coming up for this tech test at the end of April, and anything else that comes to mind. So here we go. Okay, so we know the date, and this is good. This is very good. Okay, Arc Raiders Tech Test 2 is a 5-day playtest between April 30th and May 4th, 2025 for registered playtesters on Steam, Epic, PlayStation 5, and Xbox. You can register for playtesting directly on Steam or request a code through Embark ID for access on consoles or Epic. Participants will be randomly selected across Europe, North America, and Asia. If you have had access to previous playtests, you will get automatic access to this test too. Thankfully, I've had that. I'm sure some of you have as well, and that's very, very good. Okay, the purpose of this test of the test is to understand and assess how the game plays in a live setting, get feedback, and evaluate the player experience across several areas. We're looking especially closely at changes, tweaks, and additions made over the past 6 months of development. Like I said, we've heard nothing. It's been radio silence for a little over 5 months, and that was the first tech test 5 months ago, and before that was an alpha. I think they might have had 2 alphas before that, but at least one. This time around, you're free to share or stream gameplay capture and tell the world of your experience in Arc Raiders. In other words, the playtest is not confidential. We will be making some videos, and I want to try and see if I can get off work for April 30th to stream it on the opening day of the tech test. We'll see if that works out. Okay, let's talk about the game. So I just want to mention before that there has been a little bit of pushback because at the very, very, very beginning, they had mentioned the game being PvE and not having a PvP component. That is now gone. It's PvPvE. So, you know, if you're looking for a PvE game, something like Helldivers would be the way to go, but this Arc Raiders does have PvP in it. Okay. Arc Raiders is a multiplayer extraction adventure set in a lethal future Earth where little remains of the world we know today. The mysterious machines of Arc threaten any possible settlement on the surface, and communities are forced below the ground to survive. Most people are content just to see another day. Some choose a bolder path. They are known as Raiders, scavenging the remnants of a lost world. While many civilians and traders rely on them, Raiders have their own agendas, looking for adventures and opportunities to thrive in a desolate world. Life as a Raider. Raiders like you are rogue survivors, expert surface roaming gunslingers, and adventurers scavenging the remnants of a lost world. They repurpose and kit bash materials, trinkets, and arc parts into new items, tools, and weapons. What does that word mean, kit bash? Okay, anyway, up there, topside, amongst deadly arc machines and other raiders, you rely on makeshift arms and gadgets for your personal safety and advancement. Like post-apocalyptic cowboys, this new reality has made you jaded and resilient. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide what kind of raider you'll become. Very good, thank you. Exploring the surface. Okay, here we get a little bit into more detail. The wilderness of the survival is where the action happens. Go solo or play in groups of up to 3, recover materials from caches all over the map, hunt Arc, and try to make it out through an extraction point before another raider comes for your loot. Your loadout consists of your guns, gadgets, armor, ammunition, and melee raider tool. Ammunition is a limited resource and specific to the gun type, so bring plenty. You can deploy with a free loadout. Much like in really any other extraction shooter game, you'll get a free loadout if you want, so you don't have to lose any of your stuff. The gear in this loadout will be inferior, but it's a good option when you don't want to risk your best stuff on the field. Always remember to store any prized possessions you find during your raid, I think, in your safe pocket. Any item in your safe pocket stays with you, even if you're downed. A rule of thumb, the more dangerous the location, the better the loot you'll be able to scavenge. Okay. Fighting the Ark. As a raider, your biggest common enemy is Ark, the deadly machines that rain from the sky and pillage the surface of the Rust Belt. Some Arks are small and unassuming, roaming robots and feisty ticks, while others are multi-legged behemoths that tower over the earth. Each Ark has its own strengths, weaknesses, and attack style and requires a different strategy to defeat. Ark can be armored or unarmored. Keep in mind that armored Ark can only be taken down with heavy ammunition. I don't know if I actually knew that. So armored versus unarmored, that actually could be a new thing, because in previous tests, I don't know if I've really noticed armor or not. That's interesting. And like in the gameplay footage they released, like when you have to shoot the Ark multiple times, but I'm not sure what the distinction is between armored or unarmored. That could be a new thing for this tech test at the end of April. That's interesting. Okay, the surface. The world on the surface is vibrant, teeming with life and wonder. But while its splendor can be enchanting, it is lethal. So keep your guard up even when you're enjoying the view. Okay, these are the 3 different maps. First one, Dam Battlegrounds. The Alcantara Power Plant, or the Dam, once served as a crucial raider stronghold during the bitter closing battles of the first wave. Even now, these toxic waterlogged lands remain a hot spot for Ark skirmishes. Now, I just want to mention, if you're excited about these kind of games, you probably saw that Marathon from Bungie also just put out something very recently. That game's going to be releasing in September. And I wanted to kind of make the distinction here that Ark Raiders and Embark, at least in my opinion, have done a lot more story building and put a lot more time, as I think Embark has done and will continue to do with all of their games, put a lot more effort into the backstory and kind of the underlying things and themes that go hand in hand with the gameplay. A big emphasis on story and the setting, the universe you're in. And Marathon, obviously, it's a first-person shooter and has its big-time differences, but they were a little less focused on the story, at least with a couple of the trailers I watched. I think it's a very interesting universe, but it seems Ark and Embark have the edge on kind of crafting and creating a really intricate science fiction world in coupling that with their with this extraction game. Okay, second map, Buried City. Amidst the sand dunes in this arid wasteland, Buried City is a remnant of the old world, quite unlike the cold steel spires of the Exodus age. Okay, walk these narrow streets and empty plazas and know that people once lived there. Wonder what the Exodus age is. I have not seen much about that. That's interesting. Okay, Asera Spaceport. A majestic testament to humanity's past ambitions, Asera Spaceport is where the Exodus shuttles, vessels of hope and desperation, once roared into the heavens, leaving a beleaguered Earth behind. Exodus shuttles, Exodus age, so must have been something where people had to leave the Earth for some reason. Not really sure what that's about, but that's interesting. I don't think I've seen much about anything to do with Exodus. Okay. The Traders of Speranza. I think they've talked about this before, but we'll go through it. It's similar to other games, but we'll talk about that here. In Speranza, everyone has their own agenda. The traders are no different. Some still cling to the past, driven by a flicker of hope and moral compass. Others have become hardened and self-serving. For you, what matters is that the traders keep you employed. They'll offer you quests to collect valuable supplies on the surface, and in return, you may slowly come to learn more about who they are and what their vision for Speranza is. Tian Wei runs a great gunsmith, and Apollo's gadget shop makes the best grenades in Speranza. If you're looking for zip lines and snap hooks, swing by Shani at security. Those are both movement tools. And don't forget Lance, who runs the local med clinic. Okay, so yeah, these vendors have been in previous iterations of tests, and it looks like they're just going to make them a little bit better, offer some more stuff. I like it. Okay, progression and your Raider Den. When you're ready to take a break from the deadly exploits of the surface, you can come home to your Raider Den. Your den houses your crafting stations and, more importantly, your pet rooster. Building and upgrading crafting stations lets you build more advanced gear and equipment, like advanced weapon mods or unique gadgets. You can expand your workshop to hold more crafting stations. A Raider Den is more than just their gear. You can also invest experience into a skill tree with 3 distinct specializations: conditioning, survival, and mobility. That was added in the most recent test, as far as I know, the whole skill tree aspect of it. Allocate points between branches in skill tree at your discretion to create your unique build. Okay, now this is totally new right here. This is really interesting. And I'm not sure if it's going to be like a typical battle pass. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, the black markets and battle passes. Traders have a decent supply, but the most unique goods can be purchased in the seedy underbelly of Speranza, the black markets. Access to these markets comes through battle passes. Battle passes can be purchased for Raider tokens. I think that should say with Raider tokens, maybe? Not entirely sure. Battle passes can be purchased for or with Raider tokens that you get by playing the game and leveling up. Once you've acquired a battle pass, you can buy items inside of it with cred that you get from completing daily challenges. These are specific missions and tasks that reset every 24 hours. In Tech Test 2, there are 3 battle passes to choose from: the Shuttered Storefront, the Back Alley Market, and the Secluded Courtyard. Okay. Now, of course, this is going to be a paid game, not going to be a free-to-play game. And so it looks like these battle passes are not going to be a paid feature. Like in the first line, or the first section there, it says that Raider tokens that you get by playing the game and leveling up. So it sounds like it's kind of like a Helldivers situation, at least for that first, what's that called? Requisition or something that you get. First, basically battle pass type thing that you get in Helldivers, and then the more you play and the more the community plays, the more of those golden tokens you would get, and then you unlock things that way. I think that's kind of like what it is, but this is a little more individualistic. You just get these Raider tokens or the cred by playing by yourself or with your friends, of course. Okay, here's what's good to know. Tech Test 2, Playtest participants need to be 16 years old. Thank you. The Rust Belt is lethal and you can't stay on the surface for too long. A single round is up to 30 minutes in length. And this next part's the way it's been, but it's pretty cool. I like it. As the round progresses, some of the extraction points will shut down, limiting your options to get back underground. There are world activities scattered around each map with extra rewards if you complete them. And, of course, like we mentioned, if you play the Arc Raiders Tech Test in October, which I did, or the closed alpha in June of 23, which I did, you have automatic access to this next Tech Test 2. You can play solo or with friends in groups of 2 or 3. You can queue up for matchmaking if you don't have a group. The game has both squad and proximity VoIP. You will be able to invite 2 friends to explore the Rust Belt with you after completing 4 rounds. This is something Embark has been great at in all of their betas and alphas in the past. Once you get access to this tech test, you can then invite some friends via their website. They'll give you a code, and you can play with your buddies if you want. Okay, security measures are implemented, including anti-cheat. For more info or troubleshooting, see our Discord, which I would think a lot of you are already in, which is good. Okay, recommended PC specs, minimum Windows 10 for both, minimum and recommended. CPU, Intel Core i5, GPU, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti, recommended. I'm right around the recommended. I have an Intel Core i7, I have 16 gigs of RAM, and I have a 2060 Super, which I would assume is very similar to a 2070, but I don't have anything great. We're going to be upgrading pretty soon to, I think, a 50 series GPU, but we're going to have to, NVIDIA, we're going to have to figure that out sometime soon. And then the Epic is, well, that's what it is. Okay. And then here, the next 2, they just include some little mapping of keyboard and controller. And so this game will have controller support if you play on that. I feel like most people will probably play on keyboard, just for inventory and managing all that stuff. But we will, of course, have some controller players as well. And that is that. Okay, so I just wanted to put this out there real quick. I'm excited for the tech test. I think it was, I forget when, I've made a video about Arc Raiders a little while ago. I'd have to go back and check when it was, but that's the last time any significant information was released. So if you're excited for Arc Raiders, leave a like and tell me about it down below in the comments. Please consider subscribing if you're new. And with that, we'll see you April 30th for some Arc Raiders gameplay. Okay, see you then. Bye.